I'm walking towards the Singapore Botanical Art Gallery housed within the Singapore Botanical Gardens. It's housed within the second refurbished conserved building, Gallop House number 7. Was built in 1906. This will be Singapore's first permanent display of botanical art, where visitors can see quite a large collection of Botanic Gardens collection, as well as I think it has more than 2,000 botanical paintings, sketches, a lot of drawings, and some photographs. There are watercolors, prints, including some of the printing blocks as well. You can see the artifacts within this building. Lovely place. Do come visit. It's also air conditioned. If you're hot and humid out here in Singapore, you can just pop in for a quick relief and then enjoy the artwork. Of course, Debbie Teal's work is housed here as well. So I'm going to sketch this building, so let's go. Before that, it's full of activities over the weekends as well. It's a Saturday morning. Couples getting married, having their photograph taken, with the backdrop of the building. Lovely. So, I'm just gonna find a spot somewhere down there in the garden and start sketching away. This will be fun. So I'm gonna sketch an impression of the building. And basically the vertical lines, the vertical trees, is going to be contrast against the diagonal patch of ground, the lines, as well as the organic leaves, the tree leaves and so on, providing the background as well as a contrast to the vertical lines that I see in front of me. So it's gonna be very basic, simple pencil with a simple wash on top of it. Shouldn't take me more than an hour to do, and I think this is gonna be a simple sort of architectural element with some figures thrown in. Honestly, I haven't been out so much because of COVID. It's so good. I mean, to be out here with my sketchbook, observing beautiful place with people around, and although there's plenty of social distancing, it's still good to be feeling the atmosphere and the place. The Urban Sketches Singapore is out at Seletar Aerospace. It's too far for me, so I decided to come here, and this should be a fun solo sketch. So the first wash is going to be just light blue cobalt, basically, for the sky, maybe a dash of Queenburn orange to warm up towards the horizon, and then maybe a green gold with a bit of Queenburn orange to portray the foreground grass and the patch of brown on the ground. I try to keep it simple, use lots of water to let all the color melt into each other. Of course, in this weather it's a bit hot, so it will dry up a little bit faster than in my aircon studio. It is amazing how a little bit of change in temperature changes the rate of evaporation on watercolor. Once I'm done with the first wash, I'm into the shadows for the building itself. I mix a fairly neutral brown, and I use that to symbolize what I see as the shadowed part of the building. Basically trying to make where the sunlight hit the building and making that pop by turning down the lights for where the shadows are. If you have not seen my greatest hit, the one shadow trick, it has 60k view. I'll put a link right up here. I continue to paint with brown and so on. Basically, it's gonna be sort of a red orange against green kind of a combination, so in some way complementary if you like, but not quite, because there's brown. Brown is a dirty form of orange, and you can think of it as orange red if you like, and so I am also doing somewhat of a green to yellow kind of a mix if you like. So it's a bit of a weird color combination, but I think it will work because it's kind of following what I see in front of me, with lots of green, lots of orange, and brown. While not forgetting there's actually a patch of blue for sky as well. I'm gonna put in a layer of darks now, where the black stripes you can see underneath the orange roof, and also some of the parts, staircase and so on the left. You can see that they are the darkest dark, more or less, in the sketch itself. So I mix myself neutral tint with a bit of purple thrown in, and that should be the color I'm going to use for my darkest dark. Well, not quite the darkest dark, probably about 3.5, 4 out of 5, out of a scale of 5. I think that will kind of make it work, because I'm seeing that it is around that value. It's not the darkest dark because there's actually a lot of ambience light hitting the blacks on the building as well. So if you use the darkest dark, you just look odd because it's going to stand out too dark, that is. Okay, so I'm going to continue to layer. That's the beauty of watercolor, where you can continue to layer and layer. And I put in the roof with a base of lemon yellow, thrown in new gamboge, and then cadmium orange to make it complex but at the same time believable, mimicking what I see in front of me with my eyes. I think I'm going to do the same thing with the tree, layering and making the shapes of palm, and as well as, you know, broken leaves. I've also spoken about trees and greens in another video. If you have not seen it, I'll put a link right here. Remember, one of the things to make tree believable is to leave lots and lots of holes. You can see the trees with see-through skies and lots of breathing space. Trees needs to breathe, otherwise it doesn't look believable. Once you put a few dots of darker trees, shadows if you like, underneath, of course the sun hits the top and then, you know, shadows at the bottom, they look a bit more form, three-dimensional, and slightly more believable. Okay, I thought for this sketch I need a bit of figures to make it interesting, so I'm adding those 3 figures for my photograph reference. I moved the figures slightly to the right because I think there's a bit more white background to make it easier to put in, because I'm doing it post-sketch in some ways. So I'm going to put in some darks reflecting their shirts and pants and hair as well. That is a neutral tint mix with some dark blue and mostly blue, I would say, with a bit of cobalt as well thrown in, just for measure, because I see a lot of blues there. And I think that blue will also contrast very nicely with the orange roof, if you like. And then I use Naples yellow with the dash of queen roast for skin tone and face. That's about it. Keep it very simple because it's very small sketch. This is an A5 sketch, so I can't really put too much. It's not a very big shape that I can work with. So I think I'm kind of done at this point. Quite happy with the 1 hour I've spent sketching this and putting down my name. So this is Whee Teck. I hope you have a safe and healthy weekend wherever you are. Peace and out for now. Until the next one. See ya. Bye.